Okay, so we have our character in here. We're still getting further and further away from that island every minute. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and let's just see what we get. Nothing. We still have this dude walking around being broken. And that's okay. So, what I'm going to do is the next few steps in this document. So, we're up to, go to the animation folder, the character folder. Okay. Once you have all of your animations in game, back out to the character folder and select the blueprint named Your Character Anim BP. Your character is actually, we replaced that with female character. So it's actually this female rig anim BP. Okay. There we go. So this is what we're needing to look at. Now, this is a little confusing for some people because the next few steps tell you to start on the tabs that should be labeled State Machine. It's not. It's labeled Movement. And so this is what we're looking for here, is this movement set. Okay, and you'll see that we have a couple of things. We have these. This is sort of the state graph of how our animation will flow. You'll see that we're going to be in idle, but we can transition to walk. We could also transition to run, right? And there's also some crouches and crouch walk in here. Don't sweat those too much. Probably just go ahead and plug in the walks for those just to have something in there. You can also jump start, jump loop, and jump end. We have two attacks, which are punch and kick, and we have our push animation. The thing that is not in here right now is the hit animation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start associating animations with each of these. Okay, and so if you see, if I double click on idle, there's this result. Right? But what it needs is an animation to hook to the idle. So if I go to my asset browser, you'll see that I have my female idle animation. I can drag that in there and just pipe that in. Okay, so I'm going to do this with each of them. So now I have something on idle. I'm going to go to walk. I want to extend this out so I can see them better. I'll drag my walk in here. There we go. And I can start closing these out here. Run. Okay, and this is the spot too where you'll want to make sure that they're looping. If for some reason you didn't have that. Run. So I've gotten the idle, the walk, and the run so far. I'm going to go ahead and just put the idle into crouch and the walk into crouch walk, just because we didn't do animations for those. So I'll do idle, crouch state, and walk. Whoa. Careful. Walk. There we go. And so now we have all of this filled out. Let's go ahead and do the two attacks. So attack 1, I'll do that as my punch. Attack 2, I'll do that as my kick. And for my push, I'll do the push. This is probably really exciting. So let's do jump start, jump loop, jump end. Now mine have some different names here, but so jump start, mine's called jump up. Jump loop. I did mine as jump cycle. And jump end, I did mine as jump down. There we go. So they're all mapped in there. Now here's the thing, is if we compile this, we're going to get 3 errors. Okay? And this isn't listed in the list of instructions. It's actually further down here. For the jump, you'll need to change the transitions. Okay, and so this was kind of hard for me to untangle a little bit, but what we have to do is we have to make changes to this thing. Okay, and so if we look at it, we need to make it for the transition from jump end to walk and run. Okay, so it's this jump here to run and here to walk. And so we'll find that transition right there. If I move it, sorry, you'll see that it's this one and this one. Right? So if I click that and double click on it, I'm going to go in here, and so this is what's happening. There's this stub thing that's looking for time remaining. Okay, and it's looking for it for something called agent jump land. Okay, we don't have agent jump land anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click here, and we're going to go to asset player. I'm going to say time remaining female jump down. Okay, I'm going to map that into that green node, and then I'm going to right click on that and delete it. And so now if I compile again, you'll see that that got rid of one of them. Okay, so the other one was from jump to walk, so it's got the same thing again. Time remaining, and then delete that. And then the third one was from jump start to jump loop. It's this one. So I'm going to right click, asset player, time remaining, and then I'll delete that. Okay. So now if I hit compile again, it should all work. Okay. Now, okay, so don't worry about any of that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. That was the biggest things that were covered in the document, file, save all. Now, there's a couple other things. You want to make sure you're looping. Oh, in the viewport tab. Okay, for each, drag the corresponding animations, blah, blah, blah. Lastly, you'll need to go all the way up to Greg's class folder and open the Greg character blueprint. Okay, so this is this one here, Greg character blueprint. So I'm going to double click on that. Okay, let's look at the notes again. In the viewport tab, click on whatever character is in the little capsule, and then look at the options menu to the right. Under mesh, select the character from the drop down menu. Then under animation, select your character animation blueprint from the drop down menu. Okay, so under viewport, we're going to select this character here. Okay, now you'll see a couple of things. You'll see the skeletal mesh is looking at a stub, and instead we want it to look at the female rig export. All right. So that replaces that with her. And under the animation tab, we want to point to the female rig animation blueprint. Okay. And so now she should be working. And so if I close this, file, save all, and we hit play, it's close. So we're able to move around with her. If I jump, my jump isn't really working. But if I hold shift, it'll allow me to sort of move around a little bit more. The weird thing about it is the character doesn't really seem to be going to an idle state at any point. Like once I trigger the walk, it doesn't stop walking. And I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. So this is what we're going to have to work on next. A default pawn class. So I'll be working with Emily to get this figured out, and hopefully, but this should be a lot closer. You also see that if I click here, it's going to punch. I have no idea why my screen is slowly moving though. Like I'm not hitting any keys right now, and if I hit escape, I just start sliding off the screen. So I don't know what's happening there. I may have clicked something. But either way, these are things that are definitely we're gonna have to try to figure out how to fix. But if you can get to this point, then you're in a good spot, and we can fix everything else from here. So, file, save all, and if I need to make a third video to kind of explain the rest of this, I will. So, hopefully that makes sense. I'll talk to you soon, and I think that's everything. Let me make sure. Oh, there were a couple other things in here. You'll want to make sure that you have looping checked, where I talked about that. And then to make the collision look correct, you'll want to enter the Greg character blueprint, head over to the viewport, and scale the capsule to fit the character. So let me show you what she's talking about there. If I walk up to my box here, my arms go through it, right? And so what we have to do there is go to Greg character, viewport, and we need to scale this capsule, which I don't know how to scale the capsule really. Scale up, it has something to do with this. Looks like X, so I'll select my X and set it to I'm honestly not sure how to scale this right now. I feel like I'm selecting it. Maybe I have to select the capsule over here. Anyway, this will be the other thing that we figure out. All right, cool. But that's one of the things we're talking about. I'll figure out how to scale that out and get back to you on that. Okay, cool. I'll hit stop now, and let me know if you have any questions.